Wow, the Dow Jones has collapsed 1,276 points overnight. Now, basically what happened, we all know that the CPI data came up terrible. It's not a bad figure, but it's something that is more concerning, and that really bring investors into a selling mode. Right, hopefully you make some money from it, because I have many of my students making good money, and I hope that you too has made some money. Now, before we go through this today, disclaimer apply as usual. Thank you, AIMS, for all these kind support. Now, the thing is this. Before CPI data, I actually saw this article, and this article comes from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. It means it comes from the original source, and it actually says that the inflation and the home price expectation decline further. It is a real data report, and it actually tells people that the home prices coming down, inflation is coming down, and that's prior the CPI data. And the thing is this, they even have a chart to show you that the numbers are coming down. So the question is this, why did the CPI data come up something so different? Alright, I'll come to that more in detail, but definitely for sure itself, even Jim Cramer came in and said that Federal Reserve is actually winning against inflation. And of course, we all understand that this is something that is not really happening. Okay, so first of all, let's let you know that the Dow has tumbled more than 1,200 points, and of course it was actually down about 800 points at one stage. The last 400 points was because there was more ongoing saying that there could be 100 basis points coming in. Oh my god. Alright, so let me explain to you what led to yesterday's selling. Now, although the CPI data came out 8.3, which is within the expectation, but the problem is, okay, that if you exclude food and energy away itself, right, it actually went up by 0.6. So it's actually heavily driven by the food, shelter, and medical care services. Alright, so even though the average earning has adjusted slightly higher, but it's not able to compensate the food and shelter, especially shelter, because the shelter price now is at a high level. In fact, it's near 20-30 years high. That means that more and more people need to pay a higher rental, higher mortgage for their housing, for their shelter usage. And of course, now food prices is also increasing as we are speaking right now because of the bad harvesting and the lack of manpower. All these is going to come in very heavily, and that is where it expresses a big concern right now. So yes, indeed, with energy involved. Now, energy prices that came down by 5 to 6% last month. So I did share with you that will knock off about 0.3 from the CPI data, and it's actually pretty spot on. But the problem is that the food prices, the food prices, the shelter prices all went up. So because of all these things, when add up together itself, right, it caused a problem. So what is happening right now, it's not the energy that people are worried right now, it's the food. And food prices going up, medical care is going up, shelter going up itself. This is going to be bad. Because why? Now think about this. We are coming towards winter period. And usually during the winter period itself, the demand for energy will definitely go up, right? And at the same time, Europe side, they will definitely be buying a lot of stuff because it's coming Christmas. So usually in Christmas period, there will be some buying activity that will bring back price higher. And if energy price goes higher again and food and shelter price continue to go higher, oh my god. That means that the CPI data can't come down at all. And when people start thinking about this as well, they get very worried. And this is very clear because you can see that bread prices went up, egg prices went up, everything, even canned fruits price went up. So if this thing keep on going higher, that means that Federal Reserve would really need to do more this coming FOMC meeting. And that is where the speculation comes in that could be a possibility of 100 basis point rather than a 75. And you do understand this, it was actually a 50 basis point initially. So investors are getting a bit worried right now. They feel that, right, the next hike could be a very dangerous thing. And I warn you guys that likelihood September, October month, there will be some selling in the equity market. And I was pretty spot on over here. So according to this gentleman from this Bleakley advisory group, Chief Investment Officer, he's saying that now we are in the treacherous water and 3/4 basis point is virtually a done deal, but this thing may go higher. The market has rallied 200 points recently because they expect it should be a better CPI data, but probably everybody was just focusing on the energy prices. They forgot that the shelter price, the food prices are actually going up. So because of all this information now, people are now reassessing that maybe something need to work on it. Maybe we should be worried, we should be a little more careful. There could be a higher interest rate coming in, a higher hike coming in, all right? So Now the speculation says that, right, we should really look at 100 basis point. Now we do have people like Tom D from the managing director of Seaport Global. He's actually saying that this should be at least a 75, if not 100. And of course, Nomura Securities, the economists are looking at 100 basis point. Now from 75 to 100 basis points from Nomura economists. And of course, we have Larry Summers, the former Treasury Secretary, and he is also saying that there could be a chance of 100 basis point. And of course, more of them, all the different analysts from this article, Interactive Brokers, OMG Capital, all the head of investments are all looking at prefer to be 100 basis point. And I'm not half surprised that likelihood that the market will talk about this continuously. Now, if you ask me what Jerome Powell will do, I already said that yesterday, it will be a 75 basis point, but likely there could be another 75 basis point. That is what I believe will happen. Rather than he mark it up 100 right now, I don't think he will do it. Probably he will do a 75 this time and another 75. Now, would that mean the market will get hurt? Definitely, for sure. So the thing is this, well, we can see very clearly Jim Cramer says no. In fact, Jim Cramer says that, hey, it's okay, you know what? The selling of the wreckage of yesterday is just part of it. No worry. He felt that, right, it's just overreaction. He believed that, right, this will not create any problem, and he felt that, right, this ongoing thing now is not going to be like a 07, 08 thingy. Now, of course, Jim Cramer has been a very interesting guy, and there is actually a very clear indication that whenever there is such a thing ongoing right now, when Jim Cramer called for sell, the market usually go up. When he called for buy, the market actually going down. So I'm not too sure how you read this, but I'm telling myself that maybe I don't need to be too worried, because it's very clear that inflation is in the house, and Federal Reserve, whatever they've been doing itself, is not able to compensate. It did drive energy price down, but it's not helping for the rest. And we also know that the energy prices down is not really because of the interest rate factor, it's because of the heavy supply coming from the White House, which I already tell you yesterday that October month, this will all end, and that is where it gets very, very concerning. Alright, so yesterday I already told you that the US dollar pullback is temporary, right? And let's see the chart right now. You can see over here, the dollar has firmed itself very nicely. Right here itself, can you see that? It firms up very, very nicely, and then when the CPI data came out itself, it shot through the roof, okay? Right, so I told you guys to look to buy at 108 for the dollar, and of course if you had done that yourself, it's almost 200 pips profit in just a single day. So congratulations to people who have done that. And of course at the same time, I also told you that the 10-year yields is not really moving at all, and that is something incorrect, because I felt that if, let's say, the last few days the market expect the CPI data to be good in a way, then the yield would have came off. But the thing is this, it did not really happen. So you look at the yield right now. Okay, let's look at the yield right now. Okay, it's not here. Hold on a minute. You can see that the yield actually went up. So let me just change the chart up to the day chart. Can you see right now? Yes, indeed. The yield actually shot up. So now it's 3.4, and there's a very good chance we can see a 4.5 by end of the year itself. So that's the reason why I felt that this is telling us that the market is not going to end here. So there could be more buying. And of course, I also tell you this, there was an increase of PCC buying, the put call ratio index. Actually, the buying came in before the CPI data. Now, of course, it can be a hedge, but the thing is, it's just too doesn't make sense, right? I mean, if everybody telling me they're going to be 8%, then why are you buying to hedge? Okay. It is still acceptable, but just felt wrong in a way. So you can see the number really causes to go higher. As you can see right on the screen, that the PCC data is trading higher. So those who have bought, that means they already make some money off it. And of course, there's something that I want to share with you was the VIX. Remember, I told you about the VIX itself. Yes, indeed, you can see over here, the VIX actually was bought up before the CPI data the day before. And of course, now the VIX has shot up from 23 all the way to 27. That's a huge jump itself, more than 10%. I believe that this time round, we can see this going a bit higher. This should be able to go all the way to about 32 to 33 factor here. So traders, watch out for 32 to 33. And something to note now, 2 days ago, when I saw the Apple prices was going upwards itself, can you see over here? Yes, indeed. The upside was okay, but then the volume was not really wasn't really following through. And of course, we all saw that Apple went up, right? So everybody thought, okay, things is good itself. But what happened? It could be likely that the boys pump this Apple stock, because this is the kingpin stock, right? They pump it up so that they can do something on the other side. And of course, once it's over, look at the way they dump the counter. Oh my God, 3 days of upside within one single day, it had collapsed. So now 152 is a very heavy number. I share with my friends that 152 is a strong support. Indeed, it really happened. So those who have made money, congratulations. But now I will say 152 will be again a very important point. And if this doesn't go fine, then I'm going to tell you this. I strongly believe that we're going to see this figure right now. It means that if, let's say, a 152 doesn't hold water, then I think that 146 will likely be the next target itself. So watch out for this, guys. This is going to be a very scary move, alright? So with that, I have finished my fundamental. Let's look at the technical and the charts. Now, first of all, let me explain to you China market first. Look at China market. Now, yesterday when I saw the Chinese market pulling back all the way down after it was up, right? I knew that something is very suspicious itself. Something is just very wrong. And of course, today it is following through. The moving average itself is telling you that there's some strong resistance by the MA30. And of course, if this is to continue, then I say that it's still the same. I suspect that the market has room to go down all the way to 13,000 level. Okay, so that is the China A50 index. Okay, then of course for the US market, I already told you guys yesterday, if the Dow Jones fail to stay above 32,335, this particular level, there's a very good chance the Dow Jones will come down. And I said the figure, I already said that the figure will come back down all the way to 31,411, and really within a single day it accomplished it. So the question is next, where would it be going? Now, if the market actually continue to fall, there's a next target level, which is here. Alright, this level. Okay, so if the market is now staying below here, the market can come down all the way to this point, and that's 30,488. Okay, so which means that when the market failed to stay above the 32,335 level, I mentioned that once it breaks down, it will go down all the way to this point here at 31,411, which already happened. And now if it fail, it will be going down to 30,488. But still, my ultimatum is I believe that you go down all the way to go to the elusive target of 29,562 or 63. That is the target that we are all waiting for. Alright. So the Dow has been explained to you guys, it's alright. So you can see on my chart right now, you can see why am I so concerned the last few days. The last few days, even though that the market was going up really, right, pretty strong upside movement, but my KSI, my big boys indicator, my KRW doesn't really tell us much information. In fact, it was telling us something is actually very wrong. And truth be told, within a single day, the market has flushed away all the gains, alright? So now the question is this, for today itself, what do you expect? Now the opening price of today is 31,190 and the pivot 2 is 32,353. So if the market failed to stay above OP of today, and loses the support at 31,047, the BNB SL level, then there is a good chance that Dow Jones may pull back all the way down to 30,663 level, and that is a KCB. But if you look at the BNB structure here, if the market really continue to fall, then there is a high chance that we may see 29,405 in the next few days. That means that there could be another 1,600 points drop. Alright, from where we are right now. Let me just confirm this again. Yes, indeed, another 1,600 points drop if let's say the market loses the 31,047 support here itself. So traders, watch out for this. This is going to be pretty critical. And of course, I also tell you that one of the reasons why I'm so bearish yesterday was because I used a 4-hourly chart itself, and I told you that the RSI was near the high level. And I also draw for you and tell you that if the market actually breaks this trend line here, the selling will be devastating. And indeed, it really happened. So now with the common understanding of the RSI at the 30 mark itself, we are not going to deny this. The likelihood there will be some technical rebound, because every time when we see this, there will be a bit of technical rebound, and this rebound could be about 200 points. But of course, if the market is still trending downwards, it can still go down. So I'm not half surprised that the market could be sideways for temporarily, but once it breaks below 31,100 example, there will be another room of selling, and this could be 30,600 series. All right. And of course, at the same time now, crude oil, I told you guys, if the market is not going to do well, crude oil price will likely be coming down. And of course, crude oil price is now trading below the pivot 2 level at 87.44. So that means that there's a high chance that crude oil may be coming back down to about 84.80 region. Okay, so traders, watch out for this. Now at the moment now, there's still some buying activity by the boys, but the weightage is there, but the selling is also there. So it's kind of mixed bag right now for this oil. So stay out first if you're not going to don't want to go short on it, you're going to go long, then wait for a while. Okay. For the Nasdaq, we can see very clearly my KSI, my KRW both turn red already. So that means that there should be further selling for this particular index. Now, of course, the Nasdaq is going to be very sensitive to the interest rate hike. The more high it goes, technology companies sector itself will be hit. So I suspect that we may actually see the Nasdaq going down further, and that is potentially around this area, and that's about 11,300 series. Now the BNB level itself is 11,140, 11,140. This is something to watch out for in terms of the extension downwards. Yeah, S&P 500. We also have a BNB structure yesterday, and that means that if the market loses 39.22, sorry, my bad. If the market loses 39.22, there is a chance the market can come down all the way to 36.88. It's a very nice number. San Liu Papa. Alright. So 36.88 could be the next target. Now at the moment now, the weightage is still fine, but the selling has been there for the boys. So we'll wait for a while. Once the KRW actually turns red and the KSI stay red, I believe then the selling will really have to come in. Okay. And of course, we have the Nikkei is gapped down a little bit, but of course, the thing is, it's not as bad as yesterday. Yesterday was really bad. Okay. Then about Hong Kong. Now Hong Kong gapped down this morning, and because now China market is still at the lower side, I suspect that Hong Kong market will come down to test this area here, and that is somewhere around 18,739 level. Okay, watch out for that. But of course, the market has tripped the top side 19458. Now, if the market breaks support, which is at 18,733, then there's a very good chance that Hang Seng may come down all the way to 18,037 too. All right, and that happened to be a very technical level. 366 is a technical level, so I suspect that there could be some buying interest around this area. Now, DAX is not open yet. We wait for a while, and let's look at the gold market, shall we? Now for gold, because of the dollar is strengthening right now, hence therefore gold will be hit. So I suspect that gold price may have to come back down all the way to 1673 in the near future, 1673, okay? And last but not least will be you have your Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let me just confirm the chart a little bit. Oops, there. Okay, 1 moment. Okay, so for the Bitcoin, we have a very strong pullback, and I told you yesterday, once the Bitcoin do come down, the stock market will always follow through, and it's happening right now. So the new BNB has been done, and we have some recovery at the moment, but the KSI stay red. So it means that if the Bitcoin loses 20,000, it will likely bring it down, bring the entire Bitcoin back down to 17,330, and that will be the new low as for this year itself. Okay, so that is a very high chance possibility. Now for this Ethereum, it's trying its best to stay afloat. It got itself supported very nicely at 1554. All right, recover, and because the boys are still buying on it, so that's why for this particular counter, seemingly not really affected. Yeah, so you can see how the KSI work. It doesn't mean that the KSI work for the Dow Jones. It work the same thing for the Nasdaq. So same thing over here. It work for the Bitcoin. It doesn't mean that really work for the Ethereum or vice versa. So that's the reason why with all these indicators, it's much easier for us to see the market. All right. So with that, it's right. I hope you enjoyed this session, and I hope that you make money with all my advice and sharing. I wish you the best, and I'll see you tomorrow, guys. This is Kel signing off. Bye-bye.